The term one-hit wonder is used in so many genres: music, sports, anything that could be seen as like a competition where you could have a one-off great performance, or anything that could be seen as like an art where you have a one-off great piece per se. One-hit wonders in the NFL honestly come pretty often, but usually we remember these one-hit wonders like a Peyton Hillis, a Travis Fulgham, many other examples of people having one really good year, one really good game, and just falling off the face of the planet. But here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Gabe Sayers Believer, we have the forgotten one-hit wonders in the NFL. Now, thank you guys again for your patience between uploads. I'm graduating college right now. It's been a little bit of a stressful and, difficult time for me, but, we're going to get that degree. We're pushing through. I'm a senior. We're almost done, folks. And then you guys are all mine. I'm going to be diving into the Believer. We're going to get a bunch more videos out. But for now, let's enjoy some forgotten NFL one-hit wonders. On our list is the man, the myth, the legend. I'm talking about none other than Terrelle Pryor. Terrelle Pryor was one of the most hyped high school recruits in history, and he actually started his NFL career as a quarterback and really truly struggled to find success at the quarterback position, and then transitioned to a wide receiver. We actually had one really good breakout 2016 campaign. However, injuries, inconsistencies, and just failed attempts to sustain his production led to just a true fall from relevancy. And he looked like a potential star, but now he's pretty much forgotten. So Terrelle Pryor committed to Ohio State as the nation's #1 quarterback in 2008. He became the Buckeyes starting quarterback as a freshman and led him to multiple Big Ten titles. Statistically, Pryor showed promise as a dual threat quarterback in 2010, his junior year, when he threw for 2,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 11 picks, while also rushing for another 750 yards. His college career kind of ended in controversy due to the Tattoo Gate scandal, which led to his early departure from Ohio State. And rather than enter the traditional NFL draft, Pryor entered the 2011 supplemental draft, where the Raiders selected him in the 3rd round. Pryor initially served as a backup in Oakland, seeing little playing time in his first 2 seasons. However, in 2013, he was actually given an opportunity to start, and he had some exciting moments, including a 93-yard touchdown run against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was the longest run by a quarterback in NFL history to that point. Despite his athleticism, Pryor struggled as a passer, throwing for 7 touchdowns and 11 picks and 11 starts. And after that season, the Raiders just moved on from him. He did a little bit of journeyman quarterbacking, going to the Seahawks a couple before the season, to the Chiefs, released in training camps, to the Bengals, brief stint on the practice squad, and then signed as a quarterback to the Browns in 2015, but then was cut. It was during this time that Pryor actually switched positions to a wide receiver to try and salvage the rest of his career. Now coming to 2016, Pryor's position change actually seemed questionable, but he had a breakout season for the Browns. Despite playing with a revolving door of quarterbacks, including RG3, Cody Kessler, and Josh McCown, Pryor was a rare bright spot on a 1-win Brown team as he got 77 catches, 1,000 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now, Pryor's ability to make contested catches with his combined speed and large frame and size made him look like a huge star, and at just 27 years old, he appeared to be on the verge of a little bit of a career resurgence, and he entered the 2017 free agency as one of the more sought-after wide receivers. Fortunately, after that breakout year, Pryor signed a 1-year, $6 million deal with Washington in 2017, but he was just a huge disappointment. Playing in only 9 games, he finished with just 20 catches for 240 yards and 1 touchdown, and he just got placed on the injured reserve with an ankle injury. In 2018, he did have some forgettable stints where he pulled up on the New York Jets for 6 games, getting 235 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then appeared in 2 games for the Bills, but never actually recorded a stat. In 2019, Pryor was just out of the NFL entirely. Injuries, inconsistent hands, and a lack of refined route running really prevented him from being an actual good wide receiver. Why did he have that 1-year wonder? Well, I guess the late position switch certainly caught people off guard, but I think anybody had to get some stats on that Browns team. They were, at the end of the day, scoring some points, so somebody had to get some stats, but, the reason he never really blossomed after that was injuries, inconsistent hands, and just a lack of longevity. The legacy of Terrelle Pryor is one of the more unique NFL players. Switching positions mid-career is very unheard of, and especially in a modern day like this. He looked like he could have been a really solid playmaker, but unfortunately now Terrelle Pryor just becomes one of the more forgotten NFL one-hit wonders. Ladies and gentlemen, I have another Brown on this list. I'm talking about Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson's NFL career was defined by his one really strong breakout season in 2007, followed by just years of inconsistency, backup roles, and just bad performances. He was once seen as a franchise quarterback after leading the Cleveland Browns to a 10-win season, and Derek Anderson just completely faded into obscurity. He remained in the league for over a decade, but he never came close to replicating his brief moment of stardom, making him one of the NFL's ultimate one-hit wonders. Now, early on in his career, he was seen as like a backup with potential. Derek Anderson was drafted in the 6th round of the 2005 draft by the Baltimore Ravens, but they cut him before he even got an opportunity to play in a game. And the Browns ended up claiming him off the waivers, and he spent the 2005 and 2006 seasons as a backup, seeing just very minimal action. By 2007, he was expected to remain a backup under Charlie Fry and rookie Brady Quinn, but all changed in week 1 when Fry struggled and was benched, and Derek Anderson actually stepped in and never looked back. You know, in this one-hit wonder season in 2007, he took over as a starter in week 2, and he immediately set the league on fire. In his first start, he threw for 5 touchdown passes in a crazy shootout win over the Bengals, and he truly put the league on notice. 3,700 passing yards, 29 passing touchdowns, 19 interceptions, a 56.5 completion percentage, and a 10-5 record as a starter, and a Pro Bowl selection. Now, these aren't amazing stats, but for somebody with his being his first NFL season, that's a fantastic number. His strong arm and willingness to take deep shots over his career really let some receivers have some great performances, like Braylon Edwards, who was able to rack up 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns. And, you know, even though Cleveland finished 10-6, they did miss the playoffs, but his best game came in week 11 against the Ravens, where he threw for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns in a crazy overtime win. And the Browns thought they finally had their franchise quarterback, and they actually rewarded Anderson with a 3-year, $24 million contract extension in 2008. Now, here is where the decline begins. In 2008, Derek Anderson regressed significantly, throwing for just 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 8 picks before losing his job to Brady Quinn, the second-year man. Injuries and inconsistencies just truly plagued them, and by 2009, he was damn near ineffective. In 2009, he just had a horrendous season, 42% completion percentage, which was the worst in the NFL, 3 touchdowns, 10 picks, and a 2-5 record as a starter. The Browns cut him after the season, which ended his time in Cleveland. For the next 8 years, he would become a journeyman backup once again, going to the Arizona Cardinals and not really having any great performances there, only throwing for 7 touchdowns and 10 picks in 12 games before being benched. He then spent 7 years on the Panthers as Cam Newton's backup, making a few emergency starts, but never producing anything great. He also made an appearance on the Buffalo Bills, signed as a veteran presence, but retired after just 2 games. Now, why is he a one-hit wonder? Well, that accuracy was super inconsistent. He had poor decision making, and he didn't have any actual sustained success. People saw he was just better as a backup, and had a little bit of just a magical season. Derek Anderson, one of the most forgotten, breakout season players. 2007 was obviously an anomaly for him. He even had a Pro Bowl selection, which is crazy. Truly gave all those Browns false hope. And, his career kind of just unraveled after that. He stuck around the league as a backup, which is great, but, nobody really mentions his name when you think of true NFL one-hit wonders. On this list, ladies and gentlemen, I have Steve Slaton. Steve Slaton's NFL career was the definition of here today, gone tomorrow, and he had a great rookie season in 2008. He looked like he was going to be the future of the Houston Texans running game. However, fumbles, injuries, and the emergence of Arian Foster just kind of caused him to fade into obscurity just as quickly as he came. And it made him one of the most forgotten NFL one-hit wonders. Now, he had college stardom at West Virginia. He was a true star at West Virginia University, forming one of the college football's most dangerous backfields, along with quarterback Pat White. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in 3 consecutive seasons, and he peaked in 2006 with 1,700 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6 yards per carry. Despite that production, there was concerns about his size because he was 5'9", 200 pounds, and durability. That caused him to fall to the 3rd round of the 2008 draft. Now, obviously, taken by the Texans in this 2008 draft, he exploded as a rookie, rushing for 1,300 yards and 10 total touchdowns. And he became like this go-to weapon for the Texans offense and, formed a really fun dynamic duo with quarterback Matt Schaub and receiver Andre Johnson as 2 weapons for Matt Schaub. In 2008, his stats all had 50 catches for 377 receiving yards as well and 1,659 yards from scrimmage, which was top 5 in the NFL. His best game came in Week 15 against the Titans, where he rushed for 136 yards and a touchdown, proving that he could dominate against really strong defenses. By the season end, Slaton looked like a future star and even received Rookie of the Year votes, finishing behind Matt Ryan and CJ2K. And the Texans believe they found their long-term franchise running back, but That was not the case at all. Now, entering the 2009 season, he entered as Texans' clear #1 running back, but his production just fell off a cliff, to be frank. He had 7 fumbles in the first 8 games, leading to a huge loss of carries, and then he suffered a severe neck injury in week 12 that ended his season from there. Then after that, coaches kind of lost confidence in him, and he kind of got moved to a third down back, which is really unfortunate, and it saw his workload absolutely decrease. His final 2009 stats came out to 437 rushing yards with only 3.3 yards per carry, 3 rushing touchdowns on 44 catches for 417 yards. By 2010, Arian Foster emerged as an all-pro running back and made Slaton just expendable. He was relegated to backup duty and barely saw the field. After playing in just 3 games in 2011, the Texans actually released Slaton, and he was quickly forgotten. He did attempt to make a comeback as he played for the Miami Dolphins in 2011, and he played in just 3 games and rushed for 64 yards and then was cut. He then tried to come back in 2014 for the Toronto Argonauts. I don't even know how to say this. I'm not a Canadian. He had a brief stint in Canada, but never truly revived his career. And by the end of 2014, Slaton was just out of football entirely by just 28 years old. So why was he a one-hit wonder? I mean, fumble problems. You can't fumble the ball as a running back. You can't give the ball away, and with issues like that. And that neck injury was truly significant and severe, and I think it truly damaged his confidence. Of course, this was also the time of Arian Foster's rise, so that definitely did not help. And then the short shelf life of running backs makes it really hard for smaller guys like that to be able to last in the league. You know, the legacy of Steve Slaton is that he is one of the most forgotten great rookie running backs in NFL history. And, you know, people truly thought he was going to be a star and a great starter for them, but Arian Foster ended up stealing that shine very quickly. You know, he serves as a reminder of how quickly running backs will rise and fall in the NFL, and that you got to be really careful putting all your belief into a running back. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed another edition of the Forgotten series. This time we were doing Forgotten NFL one-hit wonders. I actually really enjoyed making this video. Do apologize for how long it took for it to come out, but I truly enjoyed making it. Please, please, please go drop a sub. We're trying to work up to 1,000 subscribers right now. Drop a like, drop a comment. Tell me other Forgotten one-hit wonder seasons in the comments. Make sure you go follow me on Instagram, which is in the bio. Check out my wrestling company, which is also in the bio. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, besides worshiping Kevin Hogan today, make sure you do these 2 important things, and that is smoke crack and eat drywall. I'll see you guys again very soon.